of the company Android 2 EE, and I'm a French Android trainer. So Animate Me, and if you don't do it for me, do it for Chet. Okay? So we're going to begin by a demonstration. It's a tutorial. It's a dummy application, and I will talk about it. So I want to show some techniques of animation. The first one is you have a button at the top that is breathing. So sometimes when you want to your user to look at something or to click on something, such animation are cool. The other button here is, there is a little magician that turns the well, and if you click back, it pulls up the layout. There is another magician here which is making a Kamehameha, and the button moves. I will talk about drawable too, because I think drawable is the key point when we do animation. So I will show you how to make clip drawable, rotation drawable, animations, gate drawable, transition, animate state list drawable, and vector drawable. Animate vector drawable, so I'll do it again. Based SVG. And then we see view property here. That's really easy to implement. And the send transition, the activity transition. Okay. Oh, if you have to look at that button, and that button, and that button, and they come from one activity to the other activity. And then I want to show you 10 transition, a few. So if I click on this button, it will change the size of the image view. Okay, there is an animation. And if I click on this one, it will hide the with animation. And I show you that because it's really simple. And also how to make your own view which can animate itself. So it can be great for some application. Or sometimes. Or it's good to know how to do that. So my talk is all simple is to make such a stuff in your own application because it's simple. Okay? So let's see some slide. So why animation? Animation is life in a way. We are in a living world, so our application is to be alive. And making animation in our application makes the animation alive for the user. Animation is also comprehension. When your user sees the screen moving, you understand what's the dynamic of your view. Animation is engagement. When you make cool animation, your user wants to play with. Animation is delighted during UX, so in a way it's all my application can be really great for my user. And animation is necessary now. We are not building application for gingerbread. We are at Lollipop and will be at M soon. So we need to put animation into our application, else we look like old school. And animation is simple. This is a key point. So from the Google developer team, what are their goals? So their goal is to make animation simple for gingerbread. No, it's thank you. And then they want the framework simple, more simple than that. So twice as strong. And we want animation more simple than that. So here Chet is beginning to walk. And now we want animation is so simple that a 6-year-old kids can use it. It's important now. So this is not simple enough for a developer. So they continue simplifying the animation framework. Why? Because we want you to animate your application. It's really important, I think, in UX point of view. And Android is really UX targeted now, so it's really important. So the elementary principle of animation. Okay, we have the twin animation. We have the alpha, the rotate, the translate, the scale, and the plan transformation are yours. Because if you use rotation, translation, and scaling, you can make any transformation of the plan. It's not, but it's the foundation of the stuff. So we have our XML file with the alpha, the scale, the translate, the rotate, as usual. What we need to know with twin animation that only the pixels are changed, not the state of the object, not the state of the view. This is an important detail. We also, when we have our XML file, we just have to load it as an animation. We choose the view, we start the animation on it, and the view is animated. So, anyway, it's simple. But with the DroidconGr version, we have object animator that make animation generic. I will talk about that later. And so we have our object animator now, and instead of saying I have a translate here, I will say my property is translation on is. Okay, it's the only change we have at the level. So it's really simple to migrate from twin animation to object animator. We can do easily what we were doing with twin animation. And then in Java, we load the animation, we define the target, and we start the animation. Object animator changes the state of the object, of the view. Not only the rendering, it will change the state of the object. So, in a way, animation is changing the view, the object, just by dropping this change in the UI thread. Okay? We make the change, we drop in the UI thread. Well, we did that. We use handler. Okay, the handler we declare it in the UI thread. And then we use runnable. Runnable, we change the object, the view. And we use the handler to post the runnable in a delay into the UI thread. Okay, this is a foundation of how we made animation in the time. But it's dangerous because if you do that and you don't care about stuff, you can create memory leaks and you can generate frame drops. Okay, so it's not so easy than it looks like first. And it's not optimized. Okay, we have the rendering threads that appear and we cannot use it now. So it's not the really good way to do it. That is the way for Gingerbread. So as soon as Gingerbread is out of your scope, or if you want to make parallel animation pattern, you can have object animator for Honeycomb and more, and Gingerbread will own all the runnable and handler. Animation is also making the movement real. You need to have the feeling that it's a real movement that can occur in the real world. So we need interpolator. And interpolator are scary when we talk about it. Everybody is scared. But in fact, it's simple. Interpolator is just a way to go from point A to a point B in a time. So you have a function of time, we give you a value, and there is two constraints. At time 0, the value is value 0. At time 1, the value is value 1. And interpolator is just, I go from A to B. So you can go in straight line, so it's linear. You can use the system answer as well. So you have acceleration, bouncing. It's interpolator, accelerate, bounce. But you can build easily your own interpolator. You just have to implement your interpolator and you do what you want. And it's cool. When we talk about animation, the first step is that drawable are your best friend. Because with a drawable you can easily make an animation and it's take you one XML file, 1 line of code. So drawable, I have my image view, I use the source, is my drawable. To get it, I did get drawable on my image view, and I cast it in clip drawable, scale drawable, rotate drawable, okay? And then I make the change of the level. If I use a background, it's get a background, or it's different method depending on the version of the SDK. So now, as we know how to drawable, we're gonna look at which drawable we can implement. So the first one is clip drawable. It's drawable that hide or show the drawable inside, behind, as you want. So you just have to define your drawable in an XML file. The clip drawable, you say which drawable you want to clip. You give the orientation, the gravity, and then you use the handler and runnable method that I just showed you in the slide ago. And you increment the level of your drawable, you define it on your drawable, and it's over. Your drawable just moves. So for making stuff appearing, it can be good. You can rotate drawable too. If it's good for the. Here. So it's cool for Git because it's like rotating themselves. It's natural. For the icon here, it's not natural. So the same stuff you declare in an XML file in your drawable folder. You say, okay, I'm a rotate drawable. I'm rotating this drawable from degree to degree. Where is the center? And then again, you find your drawable. You define your handler, your runnable, and in your run, you just increment or decrement the level, depending on what you want to do. And you affect the level on your drawable, and you post the runnable in 32 seconds or 16. But 16 is too heavy for the system. It's like you also have the scale drawable. Scale drawable are cool for button in the action bar. Now there is some button that make like they are looking at the door. It's the key point. So same stuff. I'm declaring a new drawable in my drawable folder. It's a scale drawable. I said which drawable I'm scaling. I give the scale gravity and the max size of my initial drawable. And then again, I take my drawable, I increment the level, I define the level, and I post-play my runnable into my user. We have also animation drawable. It's the way to make GIF on Android. So here we define also a new file in our drawable folder. And in this file, we just give the list of the drawable we want to. I don't know how to work. Okay, this guy. And then when you want to animate your drawable, you just call start on it, and the animation is done. Is launched. We have the stateless drawable. Or stateless drawable is drawable that change depending on the state of the component. If the component is pressed, overhead, enable, disable, or normal. So depending on this state, you define to display a specific drawable. So we got when I'm pressed, I will define the Android GUI, and when I am normal, I define and stuff that we don't know is that we can make fade between the drawable exchange. Okay, we can fade the stuff, and we just have to make an Android fade duration and an exit fade duration, and it's done by the system for us. So it's just 2 lines of code you add, and it's done for you. And it's really a better experience for your user. It's simple, but it's enhances your UX. Continue with the stateless drawable. We have at the level 21, we have the animated stateless drawable, which is launch an animation when you are migrating from one state to another state. And you can define which animation you want to launch. So these animations are only animation drawable, so for me it's not so good. So I have an animated selector with my item. So pressed, I display the icon. Normal, I display the net. And the difference is I give an ID for each item. And I define a transition from this ID to this ID. And my transition is an animation list. So for the first, I want to display this one, so. And it's a way to make change with when you see your button or whatever, just moving from one state to another state. Switch on, switch off. It's all we use it. We have the transition drawable, which is here from a long time. So it's the same as the other. You create a file in your drawable folder. You give the item at the beginning, the item at the end, and you will start transition or reverse transition from going from one state to another state. And this is a really cool feature when, for example, you are waiting for an answer for your server. You just change your drawable to say, okay, I have the answer, we can continue. Okay, John, I'm storing file on the server or stuff like that. At the level 21, we have new stuff. It's we can use SVG now, drawable. It's a new resource. It's a vector drawable. You know, it's like an Illustrator. You generate your picture, and it's a vector. Okay, so now we have that in Android, and we can animate those vectors. So, how does it work? I have my image view, and I said I'm gonna use vector animating. So I define in my drawable vector animating, which is a vector, okay, a vector drawable, and I define the target. So the vector drawable, it's a vector, it's a real drawable, it's a real vector drawable, so new stuff we can use. And it's a vector, so we have the report, weight and height, and we have group and path. The path are the shape of your drawable, okay, in a vector point of view. And you can group those shapes to make a group. Okay, and you can have animation on the group or on the path. Okay. Then I have my vector drawable. I want to animate it. So the first stuff we can do is use the current object animator for rotation, translation, all the current stuff we use. And we just say object animator, we give the duration, the property we want to animate, the from, the to, and animated vector drawable start, and it launches the animation. Okay. And the other stuff is that we can make morphing between two shapes. Okay, this is from hamburger to arrow. You saw that. The hamburger, the three line and the arrow. Okay. So we can do that, it's morphing. So we just, instead of using the object animator, and which is property name, rotation, translation, then the property name is path data. And we're gonna change the path data. So we give the from value, which should be the same as here, and the to value, which should be your target value. And you say your value type is path type. Okay. The problem here is there is a main constraint that kills the path transformation a lot. Is the path must be compatible for morphing. So your path should have the same length and the exact same length of parameter. Length of command and length of parameter for each command. So it's really a big constraint, and we are waiting tools. And the tools came the last week by Stefano Bonito. You give him the from vector, the to vector, and he changed the step in a way that they are compatible for animation. So, thanks. So this is over for drawable. And we have a look at other best friend when we are making animation. So the first best friend you have is view property animator. So it's only for icon. And it's simple and magic. With one line of code you can animate any view. Okay? So you say my view, I want to animate you, you give the duration, and you give which animation you want to, which property you want to animate. You give the property and value, target value, and you start, and it's done. And you can do for translation, X, Y, rotation, X, Y, rotation, scaling, and you can define the pivot, the center point. So it's really easy, and it can be done in few lines of code. So in your animation, you can just add this line of code, and quickly your user will see the difference. View property animator are based on object animator. So my view animate situation is equivalent to object animator or float, your view, the rotation, from, to, and start. Okay? It's the same stuff. But it's written in a more quickly way. Object animator is really a class that I really like, and it makes a lot of stuff more simple. Okay, but we have to say, okay, object animator is not hard. So the first stuff to understand that, okay, I take a view and I want to make an animation inside, and I will understand the object animator using this technique. Okay. So this is my blue dot, the one that explode on the screen. It extend view, so there's a lot of stuff to do. But me, I want to animate a property. The property is whatever. So in French we have toto. We find toto, and this is special word to say anything. So I want to animate my toto property, which I was using to do with AnyView. And I have a parameter that I define as int. I can define it as long or float. And there I make my stuff. My stuff is I can change size of component, I can add component, I can change the web, I can do a lot of stuff. And when I've done that, if I change view, I call invalidate. If I change more view, I call request layout. But if I change that, then when I instantiate my view, I just have to say object animator of int, okay, because it's int here, of blue dot, or is an instance of the blue dot classes. I want to animate the property toto because I have the set toto method, and I want to animate it from 0 to 110. And then I start, and it will animate, it will call my method set toto with a good frame rate, and it will give me the parameter from 0 to 110. So it's really easy to make. And then you have your animation that is launched. So it's really figure the noise. But it works for everything. Object animator is object, it's not view. So you can do it for a lot of stuff. So this is my clip trouble with my handler and my runnable. And it was before. Now I will use in my activity the method setMoveDrawable, which is a level. And I will change my clip trouble level in this method only. And then when I want to animate it, I said object animator of int, of div, because I'm here. I want to move with a not in gap, move drawable, okay, this method, from 0 to 10,000. And I start, and it will animate my drawable. So this is a good way to do now. And no more handler is a runnable, and this is temp Chet, because it's his work we are using it. So another trick we have is page transformer. Page transformer gives you the ability to make animation on view pager. Okay, so. Sorry. 2 seconds. I show you using the video because I have not really the project. Okay, we can do stuff like that when we change from ViewPager. And ViewPager is not only from fragment. You need to know that it can be done with view. Okay, I can make ViewPaging with view. So you don't have to use a nested fragment for ViewPager. You can make view and manage your own view inside, like a normal fragment. Okay, so what does it work? It's simple again. So you have your ViewPager. You want to see the we implement the ViewPager, the XML file, or it's okay? Okay. So ViewPager, you define it in your XML file. That way, you give the weight as usual. And when you've done that, you load your ViewPager, find view by ID, my ViewPager, it gives you the ViewPager, and you have to define a page adapter, like an array adapter, same way. And you affect your page adapter to your ViewPager. The page adapter is fragment page adapter. You also have the pager adapter, and you need to make the same stuff like for base adapter. So in your constructor, you define the fragment you want to display. You add them into your list of fragments, and you have the getCount, which returns the fragment at a specific position, or the number of the fragment you want to display. And you can define a patch weight that gives you the ability to shrink your main fragment to display on both sides the other. Okay, to have for the user to understand immediately that there is other page to scroll. So once you've done that, we're gonna talk about animation. So I have my ViewPager, I define this adapter on it, and then on this ViewPager I'm gonna define a page transformer. And I will give him the page transformer I wrote. So a page transformer is a simple class that implements the interface of page transformer, which has a unique method, it's page transform page. It gives you the view and the position of this view. And this position is from, I don't know, but from -1 to 0, from -1 to 1 you are on the screen. Before -1 you are on the left, and after you are on the right. Okay. No, you are not visible, and everything. So, my position. If I am before -1, I'm not visible anymore. If I am after 1, I'm not visible either. If I am from before 0, I'm going from the left, and between 0 and 1, I'm going from the right. Okay? It's a little tricky at the beginning, but when we test it, we understand it. And the only stuff we have to do here is to change the view. So we take our view, and we do find view by ID of my button, or my panel, of whatever. And then we make animation, object animator on it, and it changes depending on the position. It's really easy to implement. And it makes really, when it's well done, it makes really cool effect when moving and scrolling from view to view. So it works with view. You don't need to implement fragments. We'll also we also have brand new simplification. Okay. it's send and transition, or this is the stuff I show you here. Okay. It's not that, it's that. Okay, when you change your layout, you want animation to be displayed. So changing the layout is making a view disappearing, or showing a view, or changing view size. Okay. If you do that, you just have one XML line of code to add in your main layout. So it's animate layout change to true. It's okay for JDB. It's work for JDB. And if you want change, if you want animation to be run when the size change of your component, you find your layout, you get the layout transition, and on this transition you can enable transition type, and you can say, okay, it's for adding, removing, or visibility change, okay, and for changing also, for changing the size of my component. So with two lines of code and one line of XML, every time you change a position or a view, or you hide something, there is an automatic animation that is done for you. And it's much better for your user. So this line of code, you should add it right now, because it's one line and it changes nothing for you. The other brand new change is the activity transition. So activity we can scale and slide, okay, but we also can now share components. So this one, and this one will be take from this activity and bring in the other activity. So have a look at one, it's hard to have a look at the third at the same time. So this one will be back. Okay. Okay, is it? So this step can be done easily too. So the only just before the old activity transition we had, it's a custom animation. We use twin animation. We can use activity option compare to make custom animation. We give the animation we want in, out, and we say to bundle. It gives us a bundle, and we use the activity compare start activity, and we give the bundle. And automatically the animation will be done for us. So it will be done like we want after JDB, and between Gingerbread and JDB it will be on this side. We have the scaling component, so you can take a button, an image view or whatever, and scale it to the next activity. We have the scaling bitmap. You can take a bitmap and scale it to the next activity as background, for example. And if you do that, you don't have to forget that you need to reverse. So in my other activity, I need to override the finish method to set override panning transition and to give the transition to go back. So if you are zooming or unzooming, you need to give to the other activity where it has to zoom back. So the coordinate of the zoom back. And now for Lollipop, we have the ability of what I show you to take components from one activity and to bring them to another activity. So the first step you have to change is your temp. So for value B21 -B21, you override your temp and you say I want my window content transition. I want window content transition. I have window enter transition, window exit transition. Okay, side. I allow entrance transition overlap, return transition overlap, share element. Okay. You copy paste. And now I want this image view to become this image button. So in my layout here, I add a line, it's transition name, and here I add also the same line, transition name, and I give the same name. Okay. Then when I want to launch my new activity, I just have to say activity compat, make send transition animation, and I give the pair. I want to change this image view to the future component which has the same name as the transition name. Okay? And then I use the activity compat, start activity, my main activity, the intent, and the option to bundle. And it's over. So it's the 10, one line of code, and one other line of code. Some tips. So how to get the screen size. You use the window manager. You get default display, and you have your display. And this display you can get wide, get height, but it's replicated. It's only for changer. Now you do point, display, get size, and it fills the size of your screen into your point. You can custom view size. If you custom view size, you need to know your size. You override the on-stage change method. It will call back you when the size is defined. And you have to here instantiate your parameter. If you want to have a view size, so a button size and image view size at the end, you need to use a view tree observer. So you take your component, you get view tree observer, and you add a global layout listener on it. And the first step you do is you remove your global layout listener on it, and you take your button and you forget measure height or height. Okay? And it gives you the weight and the height. If you want to change component size, in fact, you're gonna define layout params depending on the view group where you are. So you define linear, relative, grid, okay, layout param, and you instantiate them depending on what is the size you want for your component. And when you do that, to change the size, you take a component, you say just set layout parameter, or the layout parameter to just define. If you want to redraw, you use invalidate and dirty area. You need to calculate the rectangle to redraw, else it's battery consuming. Okay. And if you change your view or stuff like that, you call the layout to layout request. It stays to the main layout that there is change in this component. So it has to measure again a little bit. And if you want to make a rainbow paint, this is the last slide. Okay, it's Shuki. So his conference at the DroidCon, and she's really good. She's an amazing girl. And you just have to make a rainbow claw. So it's a set of int from first row. Okay. It's in order, ordering. You define a shader, new linear gradient or whatever, and using this shader you give him the color you want to fade from 1 to. And then you can use this paint, okay, I define paint, set shader, and automatically the paint will use the color that you define. It's cool for make a rainbow. So if you have any question, it's okay, you can. So if you want to, so waiting for you have the project on GitHub, and you will have the slide on Skype.
Are there any tools available that can generate a code for you? For example, it would be great if you have a plugin for GIMP or Photoshop that would combine the images that we want to make animation and generate, create the XML block for you.
I think it's not really hard to make the. I don't know tools. I have not seen anything like that. but I think it's not really complicated. But you need to know that in your drawable folder, you have defined new drawable, and you have to use them. But for me, the XML itself is not so hard. And the other stuff is, if I have a click drawable, and within this click drawable I have a rotate drawable, and within this rotate drawable I have a transition drawable, I can do that. In my Java code, I need to know exactly what I've coded in XML. So, because I want to take the first drawable and I will set it to the click drawable. And in this click drawable, I will take the drawable inside and I will set it with rotate drawable. So, you need to know what you have done in your XML to make the stuff good in your Java code. And the structure is not so hard. When you begin to play with